reach this pinnacle of his life. And it's a blessing. I'm happy for him. He works really hard. He's getting better every year, and where he started out to where he is now, unbelievable. The hard work he puts in, all this stuff, everything he gets is well deserved. So I'm very happy for him.
There was that viral clip of you guys in the locker room when Jordan Poole went live on Instagram, and you guys were going back and forth about who's going to get. You guys are both going to get the bags. You guys basically manifested that, and now you guys signed extensions on the first day. I mean, what has this been like for both of you guys?
Man, it's been a joy. Like I said, it's a blessing to reach an extension, be here, another 4 years and do this group of people. It's amazing. And I know Jordan Poole is saying that.
You guys didn't get to Spain together, though.
Nah, we got 4 more years to do it.
You've talked a lot over the past couple of years since you've been here about how you have found a fit here, you found a home here. How validating is it to get it on the other end and have the Warriors in the front office and the owners say, yes, you do have a home here?
It feels good, when we're on the same page, we both want the same things. They like me here, I like to be here. Family likes it. Love the city, love the fans, so I'm excited.
Andrew, obviously could have gotten more bread elsewhere or had more opportunity elsewhere if you would have just waited it out and gone somewhere, but you took less to stay here, and by all accounts you wanted to be here. Why was it important for you to get a deal done now as opposed to letting it play out in free agency or something?
You never know what the future holds. I'm happy here. Give a chance to do something special, and I believe in what we're doing here, and I believe in the guys, the organization. So we got a deal done. I'm happy about it. I have no regrets. I'm excited for Tuesday.
What was it like for you? We asked Jordan this, but what was it like for you when you actually sat down to sign? What were the thoughts going through your mind?
I was happy. I was very happy. That we got the deal done. Because I wanted to stay here. I feel like obviously it's gonna be less pressure going through the year, knowing that I was playing for a contract. So that's all behind me. So I can just focus on basketball. And winning.
Lots happening for you with the extension. You've got ring night 2 nights away. Are you letting your mind go to ring night? The first you've had this opportunity, the longest you've been in the playoffs, the farthest you've gone in the playoffs, that is. Are you thinking about it?
Wait, say the question again.
Ring night. Are you thinking about ring night?
Am I thinking about ring night? Yeah, I think about it. For sure. I'm excited. Just to get back playing, see the fans, and get playing. Most important, see that family grow up. It's gonna be enjoying. Especially having my family here and just being here with, the Golden State family and enjoying it all.
What do you think you'll do with that ring to keep it safe?
I don't know. I got precautionary measures I'll take to make sure it stays within my reach. Nope.
When Jordan was in here, he also talked about how you and he have this relationship and how when you came in, he said you were one of the first guys that you guys bonded pretty quickly. What is it that keeps you guys, in this relationship? How have you guys bonded over the past couple of years?
Yeah, that's my dog. Just being here, I'm around all these guys, almost every day. So just getting to know, one another, and he's just supposed to be in the locker room, and we hang out, on the road sometime and chilling. But the bond has been built, over the last couple of years of, me and him being here. But that's definitely my dog.
Hit the like button.
You kind of already touched on this a little bit. You don't know what necessarily what the future holds, but just like how much of a relief is it to have this extension done so you don't have to be playing with that kind of looming over you throughout the season?
Yeah, I can just focus on basketball. Got the contract stuff out the way. So it's basketball here right now, so I'm happy.
All right, so that's it. The contract is done. Wiggins has got his money. So everybody who thinking other than, who's a little disappointed or whatever, yeah, I know a lot of people want to hear about Jordan. Oh yeah, he's coming up. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Ready? All right, check it out. All right, yeah, so I'll start in regards to the Draymond situation. He apologized and, professional, we plan on handling ourselves that way. We're gonna play basketball and, everybody in the locker room and on our team knows they're to be win a championship. And we're gonna do that on the court, and that's really all I have to say, on the matter. We're here to win a championship and, keep hanging banners. Anything in regards to the contract situation, the extension, us winning back-to-back championship, any basketball-related questions, I'm all ears. Yeah. No. Appreciate it. First off, I want to thank God, for allowing me to be in the position that I'm in, and thank the entire organization from, coaches to players, front office, player development. It's been quite a journey, over these 4 years, and being able just to win a ring and play with so many great guys, learn as much as I have, and just to be able to be locked in for the next 5 or with the rest of my teammates, and congrats to Wiggs as well. Being able to lock in the same amount of time is exciting.
2 questions. I'll go with this one first. What has the last 2 weeks been for you?
Long.
Can you expand on that, please?
Yeah, we got back from Japan. It was an amazing trip. It's amazing just to go across the world and get to play the sport we love in front of a different demographic group of people. And I knew as soon as we got back, the talks would start for the contract extension. I just had to get through in 14 days, to be honest.
I have to ask this question. When you, at a point in time, you said, both of you guys said you and Draymond were brothers, and I know you said from a basketball standpoint, you guys are going to be what you guys are, but do you think you can get to that other point where you guys were at a point in time?
Yeah, if I said it, I meant it. And like I said, we're going to play basketball, and our teammates and coaching staff and the organization, everybody knows what it takes to win championship. And when we get out there on that court, and we got one common goal, 48 minutes, 48 plus minutes, get the job done, win as many games as we can, and try to repeat.
Jordan, people have been talking about how well you handled this and other things. What do you lean on to get through stuff, and where does that come from?
John 13 verse 7. I think it's a verse, and it's, you do not understand what I'm doing now, but someday you will. So it's kind of like a Bible verse. I kind of relate my life around, and just stay with it. Stay locked in and try to be a good person. And every day work hard, and the Lord will handle everything that needs to be handled.
Did you really, how badly did you want this contract to happen, or were you okay playing another year and hitting restricted free agency?
Of course I wanted to get the deal done. I love a year to pay. And just really exciting. Great organization, great group. We won a championship too, so it can be pretty crazy to want to leave a team that won a championship. We got our guys coming back, and we're excited. We want to do it all over again, and I'm more than excited just to be able to lock in here, work hard. Not only for the organization but for the fans, the people, for the entire Bay, for Dub Nation. and continue to keep trying to bring rings home.
Expanding on that, how much of a factor was the fact that you can walk around and be a champion? How much of that championship influenced your desire to want to be here?
It made a pretty big deal, I would like to say. Just being able to win a championship, in transition with the older guys, the generation. We got the new guys and the new generation, and we're trying to, mix everything together. We said, bridge ourselves together, have our transition. But the young guys got one. The young guys got a ring. We know what it feels like, and we were there every step of the way, and we experienced that. We know what it was like on the road. We know what it was like at home. We know what it takes to win. So being able to get that experience and go early is huge. It's very pivotal for us, and I think all of us young guys in there know.
Hit the like button, good people.
We're going to continue to try to keep winning.
How did you just handle the aftermath of everything over the last week? Did you have to go on like a social media cleanse, or you deleted some apps, or who did you like lean in just to kind of help keep you supported?
I was just going about my day, doing the same thing I normally do. Like I said, I had to get through these 14 days. And the main thing that I was focused on is over with. We just got that done. That's all I really was worrying about, to be honest. We got the championship last summer, and we knew that it would October 17th would be the deadline. From there until, October 17th is kind of all I really have in mind.
How much are you looking forward to ring night on Tuesday?
I'm excited. It's my first one. I don't really know what to expect. It'll be pretty dope to get a physical representation of all the hard work that we put in last year. Just really excited to be back on the court playing basketball, to be honest.
A clip from your Instagram live after you guys won the championship has been kind of re-brought up on Instagram with you and Wiggs talking about getting the bag. What is your relationship with him like, and how special is it to, Ball was talking about how he didn't expect both of you guys to sign your contract the same day, but you did, and go from that moment a couple months ago to now.
Yeah, if there's anybody that I got really close to as soon as they came, it was Wiggs. He's a pretty closed off person to himself. He kind of does his own thing, he's in his own vibe, and we kind of gained that connection on the floor, off the court, and we talk all the time. We got the same agent too, so just being able to kind of talk to him throughout the process, ask him questions, but we really gained a good relationship, and I haven't been more serious than I have been when I was telling him that on the IG Live. Like, we knew we were putting ourselves in situations, to be successful and, try to ink in a long-term deal. But it wouldn't have been as special if we didn't win a championship. We were locked in all the way through the end. And just to kind of have that feeling, just that, authenticity, the genuine feeling that we had, just to tell each other, but we did it, like we finished it. Now it's just a matter of time. And for us to ink on the same day, we kind of sent each other some text messages. But it's amazing. Congrats to him, congrats to his family. I'm glad that he's here in a place where we welcome him, and the entire Bay Area welcomes him, and Dub Nation welcomes him, and he deserves it. Oh yeah, no, see, look, every summer might be up now.
So we know you're unflappable and cool, but we have seen you on stage at the championship with tears in your eyes, and we know you're a deep guy. So what was that moment like when you actually signed the contract, considering you were considered a bust as a rookie, went to the G League and all that, and you made it to this moment? What was that like?
It was amazing. It was truly, truly special, and I didn't stop smiling. I really tried to stop smiling, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. And just all of the hard work, from really early on in your life, not even basketball career. You go through different stages: high school, AAU, college, and there'll be adversity. You just gotta have faith and have confidence, and self-belief will take you a very long way. Obviously you mix that in with hard work and an open mindset, and anything is possible. So, I mean, obviously people try to lift you up and they'll have things to say. That just comes with it. People say good things, people say bad things. It's just their job. Just out there just to give you distractions and make noise. But as soon as you focus and you have tunnel vision, you lock in, and once you set your mind to something and, you come up with a plan to do it, everything else will take care of itself. So it's an amazing feeling, a special feeling, not only for me, but for my family. They put in so much time and so much money and, a lot of things that you can't repay them for. And so it's just amazing to have them be a part of this as well. And, my teammates who helped me get here. And we can go down the line, the entire line, and just talk about it, but it was a very, very special, life-changing moment. I was able to be appreciative and show gratitude. Was a good answer for you?
2 questions. First off, a lot of people around you always rave about your ability to compartmentalize on situations. Where do you think that comes from? Why do you think you're able to, if you want to, zone in on a certain thing if you need to?
Mental toughness. I've just kind of been practicing it my entire life. You go through adversity all the time. Staying focused, staying locked in, having a plan. Limited outside distractions is probably the biggest thing. Once you got laser focused, it's just really you and the objective.
And the second question, every coach, Bob's talked about it, and Steve always talks about how you are the face of the future movement, right? And you've signed on for that. How do you feel about that? And is that something, the message that you want to take when at one point when Steph and Clay and all these guys aren't here? Is that something that you look at, that I want this to be mine one day?
It's a special feeling. It's a special feeling, just being able just to take on that leadership role. It's kind of been a position I've been in on whatever team I've been on. I'm just kind of trying to rally the guys together and try to bring the best out of them as best they can. And being able to say in the future is huge. Just because I get to rally these other guys and still learn from Steph and Clay and ask questions and really just try to apply everything that they have and continue to add that to the blueprint. Because we're here to stay now. It's a really good feeling, and now you can just lock in, dive in, and work harder. You don't have to worry about anything else. You know what group of guys you have, and what it takes to get there. And it's really exciting when you play basketball and you grow up. Those are things that you think about. Playing in the fourth quarter, playing in the playoffs, playing in the finals. Being able to carry your own team. Being able to have
Hit the like button, good people.
Going and trying to win a championship. So everything that you play basketball for is for this moment right now, and it's extremely special. Yeah, or two.
One of the things that's become apparent about this franchise is that Steve and Steph in particular have like this big picture perspective. I mean, basketball is everything, but it's not everything. How do you get your perspective? Because you seem to see beyond the obvious too. Where's that perspective come from?
In terms of basketball off the court?
Just in general. I mean, basketball, I said basketball is everything, but it's not. I mean, and I know you talked about your Milwaukee upbringing and just kind of what effect that had on you. So how are you able to just realize that some things are small, some things are big, and how do you box everything?
To keep it simple, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And a lot of us, if any of us, we don't make it to the league. We're here now.
You and Tyler Hero.
In the locker room. You got Tyler for the Heat. You got Pat. Baldwin. You got Man with the Nets. You have so many people who all we wanted to do was just make it out. There's nothing else that you can focus on other than making it out, whatever it is. Apply yourself, do what you got to do, put yourself in a situation to play the game of basketball, and it's something that we love. I mean, essentially, once you put your mind to it, there's nothing that can knock you off that course. So just have the laser focus. Going out there and grabbing it, I guess.
But at the same time, you realize there's more to life, I mean, what I'm saying.
Hit the like button, good people.
More to life. You got family. You got friends. I don't know what you really trying to ask for real. I don't know what you really trying to ask.
Well, like, when we talk about Steph and Steve, for example, I mean, they were able to articulate how they feel about things beyond basketball and how important things are beyond basketball. And I know to you, there are important things beyond basketball too, but again, you know, some guys are all basketball 24/7, and you're not. You're 23/7, baby.
Yeah. I think Steve and Steph have a better way of articulating that than I can. So when I find a way to say it properly in words, I'll give you a better answer.
I like that 23/7. Your extension is a happy development, I would imagine an expected development, but you don't know until you put that pen to paper. So what does it do for you kind of going forward to have this all settled before the season starts and, you know, to play a season knowing the investment this organization made in you?
It's a really good feeling because I was already focused on basketball. You're already focused on basketball. You're laser focused and you're locked in. But now, like, you're even more locked in. Like, there's another level you can take it to, knowing that your family's taken care of, friends are taken care of. Anything that you needed to do is essentially done other than play basketball. So, it was really good. We go out there with a clear mind and really focus on winning another championship with a great group of guys who've been in the locker room and excited to defend our title and go back to back.
And that's it. Now, it gets more interesting, people, because now this all goes back to Dre. Everybody's saying Dre's gone. Dre's done. Well, let's Bob sit down and address that.
Ready?
We ready, Bob?
Obviously, count me down.
We want to know, is he gone?
Obviously, Gary
Let us know, Bob.
We didn't plan on doing them on the same day. It just kind of happened that way. Love to thank Joe and Peter, the ownership group, making the financial commitment that they did, continue to do. A huge commitment to winning. I'm lucky to work with an ownership group like that, and lucky to have the opportunity to sign players like Jordan and Andrew.
They committed $250 million to two players.
Continue to do and grow within the organization. As far as Draymond returning to practice, I haven't spoken about that. Steve's talked a lot. I would say that I've heard much of the conversation around it, very fair. From my standpoint, I would just echo what Steve says, that we did our best. I understand there's different viewpoints, but from our perspective, it did involve a lot, and as far as conversations with the stakeholders, and it wasn't easy, but we made a decision we made. With that said, regarding the extensions, I want to thank CAA as well, the agency that represented both these guys. So deal with Austin Brown and Stephen Heumann, Drew Morrison, made it easier in some ways to talk to one group, although they had different agents with different players. But as we moved through the negotiations, we had a sense that both players really wanted to stay here. And certainly Andrew had been somewhere else. Seems like he's found a home that he's excited about, and Jordan clearly earned what he received, and they both did. So it's fun for us to be able to do things like that, reward hard work, reward two players that were probably not thought of being the ones that would get these type of numbers, but that's them. That's their hard work, that's the coach's development, that's our scouting group's ability to identify talent. So it's an organizational success story, and we love to reward players that have earned those things. Happy to answer questions on details or anything like that.
Did you anticipate getting these deals done before the season began, and did the incident with Draymond have any impact on the decision to sign these guys?
Second question, no. The Draymond incident didn't have any impact on how we moved through these things. These had been ongoing discussions. I know that they came to fruition pretty late in the game, but we've been talking to Andrew's representatives. That was a little bit quieter. I think a lot of people assumed that might not get done. But those conversations have been going on for 2 months. Jordan, we agreed to pick up later, and had a sense that we had a good opportunity to get it done. Wasn't sure where it was going to end up. But as far as after the finals and the victory, we organizationally felt like these are two guys we really want to keep and see if we can do it. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes the expectations don't align. Sometimes the money doesn't align. But as we got closer, Marcus, we got a sense that there was a good intention from the agency side, from the players' side, and certainly from ours to try to figure out a path to getting them both done.
Obviously, you just added about $50 million to the salary cap next year. Does this signal that Joe is willing to take on that huge tax burden, which is projected to be about $480?
Are you, did Kawakami, is he speaking on behalf of Tim?
I speak on behalf of Mark.
You know, it's interesting. I see the comments on our future. I'm well aware of what the numbers are, but what I would say to everyone is that that's next season, and this is this season, and we can't play next season now. If you were to ask me a year ago today if we would be paying Poole and Wiggins this, I would have probably not believed you. So we have to take it year to year, Marcus. I can't evaluate what we're going to do next offseason until we see what happens this season. And whatever it is, it is. And I just know this, that there's a huge commitment to winning. There always has been. I imagine there always will be. And I'm lucky to be in a group that believes that. Their actions prove it. So we'll see what happens this season and go from there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
We know how you operate, and you guys kind of plan for everything in advance. For instance, like last year, you were thinking about who's potential now. So there is a universe where everybody plays well, and you win another title, and now you're faced with this situation where you got to pay these guys. Is that on the table? Because Joe has said some things like that's not going to be possible. Does this mean there's a universe where it is possible, or does this mean there's a D-Day coming?
I think somebody really smart once told me never make decisions till you have to, and we don't have to make that decision right now, so we don't. I guess what I've learned is the modeling has never been less valuable in the modern NBA with the fluidity of the league. Again, I can use these two guys as an example. Nobody was hypothesizing a year ago, what are you going to pay Wiggins $100 million and Poole, what we paid him. So it's a good reminder that no one knows. A lot of people thought we wouldn't win. Fair point from many people. Every team goes into every season with expectations, with ideas, with modeling, and those usually get blown up. So as far as what we're going to do, I don't know. But I do know when we have to do it. We've got a lot of smart people figuring it out, and an ownership group that's committed to supporting that.
Bob, you talked about the conversations around the Draymond Poole situation, and you getting to a place where you organizationally felt comfortable with the outcome that happened. At what point and what happened that made you feel comfortable enough to go the route that you guys did with Draymond?
Well, if I said comfortable, I probably misspoke. None of this is comfortable, and I probably should have used a different word.
Hit the like button.
I would say we did the best we could and picked the decision that we thought was the best one for the organization. As far as it being easy or comfortable, it wasn't, it isn't. But the work now has to be forward, and that's all we can really do at this point. Decisions have been made, and I think the players, the coaches, the organization will move through it, and I believe we'll be okay.
And what about, because we've always talked about, and you guys have always talked about your culture. What do you think about, what do you think about your culture that can make this happen smoother than, the rest of the world anticipates it happening?
We'll see, right? I mean, you don't really know your relationships till they're tested. I think we've had some relationships tested in this organization. I always tell people the hardest thing in this business, in professional sports now, is keeping something together. I don't know that people quite understand how hard it is to sustain success in the NBA and professional sports now. It's literally the hardest thing in the world to keep a group of the same people functioning at a high level with the attention on the players, with the money, with shorter contracts in the NBA, with players rightly seeking the best thing for them, and moving in free agency or via trade. And each day we show up trying to protect that fabric, but it does take hits. It 100% takes hits, just like any relationship does. And you test and you see if you can figure out a way through that stuff. It helps to have history. Sometimes the history is checkered though, so you gotta deal with that too. But what I would say is that it's culture is people, and I think down in the practice facility and above me, parallel to me and beneath me in the organization, there's some really high quality people that we lean on in these moments, and that's what we're doing now. But it's one of those situations where you don't just expect things to heal on their own. You have to work at it. And we've been in situations where we had to work to heal before, and where we're now.
Are you able to say how you feel about the fact that even when you develop your own players, the luxury tax still hits you just as hard as if you were to be signing free agents? How do you feel about that developing your own players doesn't give you any kind of a break?
Well, look, Monty, I mean, I think that that's been spoken of, and I'm going to tread very carefully there. What I would say, not on the financial component, is we are very proud as an organization to watch our team play in the finals last year and see 5 players that we drafted having a huge role in our success, and 1 player that we traded for that at the time we traded for him wasn't necessarily a heralded acquisition. Was kind of thought as not a great idea in some parts and maybe good in other parts. But to look out there as a front office and see that a lot of these guys we picked, there's a pride in that. I think our fans appreciate that. I mean, if I was and I grew up here when I was a Warriors fan, I loved watching, knowing that Chris Mullins gonna be out there every season for the most part. But then a lot of guys come and go. And the mark of a great organization is one that can retain talent, groom talent, identify talent, and succeed. And last year was really a culmination in that, and we're very proud of that. Economically, I'm not going to get into what the rules should or shouldn't be. The rules are the rules. And I'm lucky that we have very competitive owners that support winning at a high level.
You know, obviously the extension talks with Andrew were kept a little quieter, but at what point in the past week or days those talks start to make meaningful progress?
Well, I'd say about a week ago, we picked up some steam, and you never really know in a negotiation if you're going to get there, but the gap started shrinking. We didn't plan on doing these things. Actually, we planned on not, if we got it done, not doing these guys in the same day. So that just happened to be how it came down. But as far as Andrew, I had a conversation with Andrew and his agents prior to him signing, prior to agreeing to the deal, where just communicated, he communicated how much he enjoyed playing for us. I communicated how much we appreciated him and what he means to this organization, and watching him succeed, win the championship, and get what he deserved as far as the accolades. So it was really nice. He was at my office and signing the contract, and it was a nice moment for him because he's more than Jordan. Andrew's probably seen a lot of different sides of the NBA. I think he had 4 coaches in Minnesota. I think here he found some stability, but his stability is tough to find in the NBA. Some of the noise and that's part of it. And then his rookie year, he would admit, wasn't stellar. And then going down to the G League is something I think a lot of players end up doing, but some feel like, why aren't I in the NBA, and how he embraced that opportunity. And Jordan, both came here in different fashions, but both have thrived. And so I guess we saw a finish line over the last 4 or 5 days that these things have a shot at getting done.
Bob, how do you feel about where this team will be now in 2025? How do you feel now versus how you felt about that maybe 2 weeks ago?
Oh man, now we're going like two more years out. It's hard not to think about those things. And I know you write about them because it's not just you guys thinking about them, it's our fans, it's NBA fans. I honestly don't know. If you asked me in the year we were 15-50, if we would win a championship 2 years later, that would have been hard for me to digest. So in 25, what I will say is that when you go down and watch daily practice, I think there's a lot of talent out there. And there's a lot of depth. And that's our job in the front office, to give our coaching staff, our fans, a product that they can get excited about, they can win. And the other night in the preseason game, we saw glimpses of the young guys. But in most places, those young guys get to play a lot more. It's going to be tougher for our young guys. So I like what we have out there, but sports is a tricky thing, right? Things change fast, so we'll see 2025.
Well, I was asking that question in context of what has happened in the last 24 hours. I mean, what these guys, signing these guys.
Yeah, I get, so I didn't get the question right, Monty, but I think it's one of the toughest things in the front office role is to acquire talent and keep it. It's easy to sit there and get cap space and think of guys you might trade for, but actually retain talent is really difficult. And so yesterday was a big moment for our organization in retaining two highly talented players, one young and one probably in the middle of his career prime, Wiggins. So that's a big thing for us. It's hard to get players. It's really hard, and we have a lot of good ones. Some through the draft, many through the draft, some through trade. Not a ton through free agency on this team. Iguodala came back around, but most of our players have been done through trade or draft in the past. It seems to work out for us pretty well.
Draymond has said that he doesn't expect an extension to happen this year. Is that from what's going on with that from your point of view, and where you guys set with there?
No, Draymond's in a great spot. And he's got a player option. It's a great position for a player to be in. You control your own destiny. We gave Wiggins one. We reluctantly give those. Those are really powerful things for players. So he's in a great spot. And I think he's excited about the year and he wants to win another championship. He sees the opportunity in front of him, but I don't sense, I talked to him this morning, I don't sense any issues there or any problems with that. And I imagine he's going to have a fantastic year. Actually, I think he will have a great year. He's got a lot on the line, and usually when Draymond has a lot on the line, he performs.
Building on that question, how is the team overall's relationship with Draymond? Because he has a player option coming up next year, and obviously wants a contract. How do you guys see it from your point of view? Has what happened affected how you guys view him going forward? What is your relationship going forward?
Yeah, I've seen on the agent side, not as much here since I've been with the Warriors, but I've seen contract conversations really affect the team. And I honestly don't. I know that's been a narrative. I haven't seen it on the practice floor. I mean, today was no different. I know it was written that was part of what transpired the other day, but I don't feel that. I don't think that. I think Draymond was asked that and answered it. So I don't feel that the contracts are. Interestingly enough, in my opinion, the players don't think about this as much as maybe you guys do, from my vantage point.
I meant more so how the team views Draymond.
Oh, the team
sense. Forward after what just happened.
I think they love him. I mean, as far as
Organization.
Yeah, organizationally, he's on our team and he can help us win, and he's got some things he's got to work through, and we're confident he will. And, he's in a lot of conversations stated that he's going to do that work, and he understands what he needs to do, and he's going to have to go do it. And so the organization, he's here, he's on our team, he's a big part of our team, but like I said, like Steve said, and I think like Draymond said, it's not really about what I think, it's about his teammates. And that's not something I can answer. They can answer, and time will tell. You'll see the results out there. You won't need me to sit up here and tell you how it's going with Draymond and players. You'll check in game 10 or 20 or 40 or 50, and you won't need anyone to tell you what it is. You won't be able to see what it is. So that question I know we want an answer to now. That question will get answered over the course of the season, like it should. Is what it is. It's really for them to figure out.
And the funny thing is to say, you just gave a guy up to $140 million since he's coming off the bench, and that doesn't happen. But obviously, you see something big for his future. How would you explain what you see Jordan's ceiling to be in this league?
Well, if you like the analytics, he checks out in a lot of ways. If you don't, that's fine too. He's got youth on his side. I think the thing that gives us the most encouragement, to be honest, is his work ethic and how much he likes to work, and he loves to play. And many people think that those are things that are automatic in the NBA, and they're actually not. I don't think everybody loves the work, but he does. He's proven that. I asked a few people prior to in our organization, is there any reason why we wouldn't pay these guys? Is there something I'm not seeing? Whether it was a player, whether it was a trainer, whether it was Steve, ownership, and everyone came back with a strong, these are guys you want moving forward. And even Wiggins, how he showed up, a little distrusting, and who he is now, and maybe you see it when he sits up here. I think him and Jordan are going to come up here. He just seems like a different guy in a positive way. And so those are the type of people, much like 10 years ago when Curry, in a different way, had the ankle stuff, we extended him, and some said shouldn't. Our answer internally was we're betting on the person. And that's what I would say about Jordan and Andrew, we're betting on the person.
Hey Bob, you guys really pride yourself on having high character guys and drafting high character guys and bringing those kind of guys in. But one of the two ways Anthony Lamb gets some pretty serious accusations that were thrown at him in 2021, and I was just wondering, when you guys brought him in, was that something you guys looked into with the process, and what did you guys find?
Yeah, we checked the NBA, we checked with the two teams that had prior signed him and didn't hear anything as far as official charges or anything like that. And it's tough because we take that very seriously, but at the same time, it's difficult because if somebody is accused of something but not charged or convicted, and we then deny them an opportunity, is that fair too? But again, that's a very something we take very seriously. But we can only at times look at what the law has done and also follow the leadership of the NBA. If the NBA had said this is not something we would recommend or do, or there's an ongoing investigation, we would not have moved forward. They have more information than we do in this situation, and we had to lean on that. We leaned on the prior teams that signed him. Our general counsel looked into it himself, but we didn't do it lightly, but understand the question.
Yep. And that's it. So now you know. No, I never look at it like that. Why do I feel everyone else should? Nope. How do I feel about the Draymond Green's involvement? Draymond Green. I mean, what is there to tell you? Oh, definitely. If you're not part of the Patreon and you're not seeing the exclusive Blueface and Christian Rock video, you missing out. And of course, the classic epic Casino for Life Patreon version of academics in this doggone chick. You don't want to miss this video. I guarantee you it's only going to be for Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon member, you're not going to see this epic video. So join the Casino for Life Patreon. Definitely do that. Whack and 21 Savage. I don't think you guys seen that. The Kobe, who's better? Penny, everybody's saying Kobe. We kind of knew that. Here's why the NBA is really upset with Draymond Green video. Brad Stevens feels betrayed. Some stuff here you've never seen before. We watched the Haney fight. We did a post fight. during the Wilder event. What do the Warriors mean to what? I didn't quite understand that. No, I didn't see that being one of the factors. Didn't see that being a factor at all, actually. What's up? Salute, Kwame. KB. I gotta get ready for another wedding, man. After this, no more weddings. Telling you, I am taking a break from weddings 100%. Shoot, if I get married, I want to hire somebody to stand in for me while I make some videos. I'll be like, I got videos to make. You just make sure y'all send her home for the honeymoon. I'll be there for the honeymoon. You can stand up through all that. Talk to the preacher. Do you realize that the wedding is not even necessary? That you're already married before the wedding? How many people actually know that? Once you go down there and figure out and do everything with the lawyer, with the paperwork at the courthouse, you're married. When you get your marriage license and all that stuff, you're married already. I'm serious. You are automatically married. The wedding is just the show. I now pronounce you man and wife. That's just the show. You've already married. Yeah, you go fill out all that paperwork to get to your marriage license and you pay the money and all that. You're legally married. To say I do and all that, that's just the show. You go down to the courthouse, you legally married. When you get all the paperwork and all that, and you pay the fine, the fees and all that, you married. It just makes it official. That's why when the woman didn't come down the aisle last time, the downtown, met with the priest and all that, did all the paperwork, paid all the state. So by the state, they were married. So when she decided that to not go through with the wedding, they had to go through a process legally to try to annul that whole situation. Because technically, they were married. Think that we were at that point. Okay? Listen, Draymond Green is more valuable to the Golden State Warriors because what he provides to the team. Jordan Poole can't provide that for the team. Not him and Wiggins combined provides that for the team. He is not only the vocal leader, he's the emotional leader. He's not only the point guard, he's that best defender, knows where everybody's supposed to be on the court. He makes it a lot easier. Jordan Poole can score 20-some points a night. Doesn't mean you're going to win the game. So what we're trying to say is simple. It's a simple thing that we're trying to say. Innate value really counts and matters in this league. Jordan Poole was considered a bust, right? They called him a bust his first year in the league. Jordan Poole was considered a nothing player. They sent him to the G League. He bounced around, couldn't really get a fit. He was looked at as a bust. And what transpired after that? Sometimes it's about the system you're around. Oh man, allergies is crazy out here. Absolutely. Oh no, I gotta go meet my boys. I told you I got one boy that's a Cowboy fan. Y'all seen my other guy, Los, when he used to go live for the Cowboy games. And my other boy, T, that's there, and my other boy, Go, who you seen on my page too, and when the Eagles, he's an Eagle fan. And you saw him when they won the Super Bowl. And he did the Fly Eagles Fly chant on my channel. So you've seen it. And now those two, they finna play each other, and I gotta be there to be in the middle, for they tear each other apart. And they keep making fun of, yeah, what's up with your Bucks? Man, we going to the bowl. Don't worry about, I'm like, don't worry about what happened at the top of things. This low tier thing y'all doing, don't worry about it. When the chips is on the line, when the playoffs is around the corner, we'll make the deal. See, everybody talking about Brady's trash. They didn't even watch the game. They just want to blame Brady for something. Brady did nothing wrong tonight. He cussed out his offensive line, who had a terrible game today. When we supposed to get touchdowns, we're settling for field goals. Messed up my gambling sheet. But let me get back on course. Now, everybody called Poole the biggest bust in the world. Even Wiggins. Hell, I wanted Wiggins gone at one point. But Wiggins worked hard, and they had a good system around him. Myers brought up a good point about Wiggins. Wiggins had like 4 coaches while he was at Minnesota. He was in a bad organization. Plus, Wiggins is not, I repeat, not a top, he's not a top 1 or 2 player. He's a role player. They were paying him as a franchise player, and they screwed up. He's not going to be a 1 or 2 guy. He's your 3rd or 4th guy you go to. That's his role. But they committed him with $70-some million in early. And it was like, whoa. Draymond came in the league for first 3 years of his NBA career. He was only making $2.6 million for 3 years. And this is in 2012. He got a 3-year deal for $2.6 million. I can get a deal like that on YouTube. Yes, and thank you guys for the super chats and the love and the support for the page. I appreciate that. Thanks to Kwame Brown for coming over too. At Kwame Brown Bust Life, showing some love to the chat. Oh yeah, Seahawks, Jose Rodriguez is back live streaming. Welcome to HD TV. You know, he do 24 hours live streaming football. I don't know how he do it. He's doing that now, and Ticket TV is still as crazy as he's ever been. Now, Jordan Poole's contract had to be done before October the 17th. Now, what he brought about Draymond is, right, this means Draymond's gone. I mean, they're not saying that because you ain't going to bring that up now. You know you got Draymond for the season. But Draymond's in control. He has a player option. So he's in the driver's seat on what he want to do with his career. The team doesn't have the option. Draymond has the option. So he's in the control. He can go any team he want, and whatever team can pay him what he want, he can go. For what he was saying that he was going to ask for, he definitely ain't getting that from the Warriors. And they let it be known now by signing Wiggins. Wiggins was the shock. I knew they would sign Poole. If they signed Poole and Draymond, then Wiggins would be out. So that's what everybody thought. Like, who would it be, Wiggins or Poole? Which one would they sign? And once they signed Poole and then came with Wiggins, Wiggins is the one a lot of people didn't know that they were really working on and seeing if there was a deal that they can make. But 2 Wisconsin boys from Milwaukee got it done. Jordan Poole from Milwaukee and Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero had a 130, signed for $130 million. And now you see his boy Jordan Poole signed for $140. So they happy because, like he said, it's not a lot of guys that's from Milwaukee making the league. But he started thinking about, my family secure now. I got everybody taken care of. I made it. Like that was a blessing that he don't have to have that on the back of his head. That the work was done. Now he could just focus on basketball and everything else. Well, after Draymond got that first deal, after the 3rd year, they won the championship, so he was in a good position. He got like $84 million, which is okay, because Steph and Clay are the main guys. Actually, it was Steph, Clay, and Harrison Barnes at the time was perceived as the main guys when Dre signed his deal. So he got his $84 million deal. Then after that year, Dre kind of took over. And you saw it in the finals. Harrison Barnes just disappeared. I mean, he played like the worst finals in history. In that 2016 season, when the guys were hurt, he didn't step up. And the next year, they came back with Kevin Durant. And they decided, it was a free agent year, and they decided not to sign Harrison Barnes. Everything was great until that finals. That final showed them they needed to step away from Harrison Barnes, who was a large piece of the Splash Brothers, who now gets basically no credit. But he was a large part of the 73-win team. And they don't even give him the credit he deserved. Oh, definitely hit the like button, good people. Oh, I'm riding with the Eagles all day. I think Eagles gonna blow them out the water. No, that was the first deal. I mean, that's the third deal he just did. He signed a that 5-year deal after the fact. So he's had 3 contracts. It was for $99.6 million, the last deal you're talking about, but he had an $84 million deal too. And in the last year, he re-signed and restructured his deal, and then he ended up signing a 4-year deal worth $99.6 million. No, it's okay, Dion. You know I'm gonna be on my job. Ain't no thing. So absolutely. Oh, we're gonna talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about Dallas tomorrow. Or maybe later on tonight, because HD got the live stream going 24 hours a day. So I kind of don't want to do live streams on Sunday or StreamYards, because he have everybody on there for 24 hours straight. I know Outlaw is happier than can be, because he got the Jets. The Jets is his team. He's a Jets fan. And I'm like, man, that is amazing for you to be sticking with the Jets all these years. But I know why the Cowboys lose every year, and why they've been losing for 25 years. But we'll go into that later. I'm gonna wait till this game play itself out, because my buddy, the Cowboy fans are some of the most delusional people on the planet. So after we watch all this play out the way it is, then he'll know. Oh, you saw me on the on my Instagram. I went crazy on the Jets game. Jets, Jets. You'd have thought I was a Jets fan my whole life. That's how much I hate the Packers. Sharon Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Well, you got to look at situational football. When you start thinking, okay, situational football, what are we going to do? Or even that period. Like right now, basketball season's going to start, right? Because there's 82 games in a season, you could mess up a week. You could mess up for a whole 2 weeks and have a bad 2 weeks and still be nowhere out of it. Let's say you don't win a game for 2 weeks. You still ain't out of it. So it don't even matter. In football, 1 week or 2 bad weeks in a row, you could be out of a situation real quick. You could be behind the 8 ball. You can't give a team 2 games when it's like 16, 17 games in there. That's a stranglehold. That's why football is the king. Because it's one game. You might be the best team in football that year. You mess up one game, this team can't beat you 4 times. If they had to play who wins 4 times, you'll beat them every time if they do that. Because they might only get one game. And then y'all will wipe them out the other 4. If they did that in the NFL, you know how many teams wouldn't be champions? But you had to be the best, the very best in time that night. And if you weren't the best that night, buddy boy, you're done. And people, man, they have nightmares wishing they can take that night back and go and replay that game again. They'd be like, man, if I could just go back and run that play over again. That's why it's king. Don't get me wrong, I love to see series, but that's why the NFL playoffs are kings. You know, Premier Leagues and all these the cup championships, the one game eliminators, World Cup, because everything's on the line. Look at here, people don't have time. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, man, people ain't got time for that. The season ain't too long. It ain't long. It's just right. See, that's the thing. If you start shortening games, you've already tampered with history. You can't keep comparing people to legends of the day when you keep tampering with the rules. That's why I'm like, you can't compare LeBron James to Michael Jordan and any of those guys in the 90s because the rules aren't the same anymore. LeBron is allowed to take his arm and shove a guy like this. If you think Michael Jordan could shove people off and get to the basket, that wasn't a foul. LeBron James is allowed to offensive foul on every possession. In the 90s, he couldn't do that. So what would he been? A guy that scored maybe 7 points off the bench, if that. LeBron James would be a role player if he played again in the 90s. LeBron James would be a role player in the 90s. Completely shut down. The way they were allowed to play defense in the 90s, he would not be able to get off the blocks and get rolling. They would have picked him up 94 feet. Dennis Rodman would have shut him down completely. He would have annoyed LeBron. LeBron would have got technical fouls. He don't have the mental capacity to deal with a Dennis Rodman. Rodman would have been squeezing his booty and everything. He just, man, what's going on, man? He touching me, bro. Man, he'd have been freaking out and acting like a baby. And Dennis would have been laughing. LeBron would have been on the bench. They would have hard fouled LeBron and he would have quit in the game. His coach is talking about right now, he's in year 20. He's in year 20. And what is he doing? 20 years in the league, and your coach has got to tell you, you got to have a next play attitude. The coach is talking about LeBron just sunk in his head, body language. In year 20, you need your head coach to tell you that in year 20, dog, that you got to have a next play mentality. And that's what we got to get out, because that leads to 3-4 other possessions going bad. And that's how things spiral out of control. You need a head coach to tell you that in year 20. You're the leader, the captain of the team. He didn't even say your name, but everybody knew who the hell he was talking about. You the main one. Throwing lackadaisical passes because you frustrated. And y'all put this guy in the category of Kobe Bryant. Then you watch the Redeem Team, then you see the mental focus in his eyes. Then you see the focus in Jordan's eyes. Isaiah Thomas, do you see that look that they have and they possess? You heard Bosh tell you, I was scared. I was scared. Man, all that was going on, man. I was just scared. I'm like, what? Chris Bosh is scared, man. I ain't gonna lie. In that championship game, I can't help I'll be naturally. I was scared. Kobe was like, everybody else seemed a little nervous and all that, but to me, I was just ready. Because it's the truth. Out of 20 years, this man had 3 winning seasons where he can hold the trophy up in there. 20 years. And he been 10 times. 9, actually. Because we ain't counting that pandemic thing. We don't even count that. Sorry. The NBA can do what they make up whatever little goofy rule they want to try to say that's an NBA championship, but no. We're not buying it. So he's 3-9. I love how people tell me, yeah, if LeBron didn't win it and somebody else would have won it, you would have been calling that a championship, Cino. No, I wouldn't have. Because I already told you what it was when they started this damn thing. I said this is a bubble championship thing. The season should have been called, but this is a business decision. They can't afford to lose the money because the Lakers wasn't going to lose it. Because one, the Lakers were going to be in it because they were going to put them there. They need the Lakers and LeBron. They need their biggest money maker to be in there. You think they could afford to let the finals be Denver versus Miami? The Denver Nuggets versus the Miami. They need viewership, buddy. This was a pandemic lockdown. Fans couldn't even be there. They need people to tune in and watch the game. So they needed a storyline. Pat Riley versus his old team, the Lakers. I'll be like, hey, you thinking Pat Riley ain't thinking about that. He's in the front office. You're not allowed to guard LeBron. This is why LeBron can still be in the league now, because they made the league easy enough for a guy 50 years old to still play. And then that's what it's like, man, how many times you gonna keep catering to the players? You're giving them all these rest days, and then you got no more real back-to-back games now. In the NBA, they used to have it when you played they call it the Texas Triangle. You go to Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston on the road 3 nights so you can get it out of the way, especially if you're on the East. So my buddies used to go because they're about 2 hours away from each other driving. So if they play Dallas, normally the next night they playing in San Antonio, then they get a rest day, then they'll play the next game in Houston, and then they through with the Texas Triangle. That's how the games used to be played now, but the NBA, they so stupid getting away from scheduling. They don't schedule it like that anymore. Now they want to mix it all up. Like, well, why should they play all 3 in one week? You do that for the convenience of the team that's traveling and going all the way there. Why they got to go there and then go fly all the way back here and then fly all the way back out to Texas? You wasting not only time, but you're draining people with all this extra travel for no reason. Karl Malone can't guard LeBron James. Are you out your mind? First off, LeBron James can't dribble. 2, LeBron James is only fast when he's in transition. Karl Malone and Charles Barkley used to go coast to coast. What do you think they would do with Charles Barkley and them on him? Barkley would bang LeBron. LeBron is not a physical guy. He doesn't like physical activity at all. You bounce him out. His muscles is big and all that, but it's mental. This game is mental. If you don't have that built into your psyche, you're not going to make it. Like a lot of you hated on Kwame Brown and talking about, oh, this and that. Kwame Brown was a 7-foot tall dude. Big guys are going to suffer more injuries. Their bodies took a lot of abuse. They said, do you realize that on the teams that he was on, when guys were setting records and all this stuff, what he was doing, setting the pace? When Kobe scored 80-something points in the game, who was right there when he scored the 80-something points? Kwame Brown was on the team when he scored the 80, what was it, 84? Or 81? Kwame was laying them pigs out there. Boom! Stiffing guy. That's why people say, hey, we want that guy on the team. Okay, you revving up to go where? You in traffic, buddies. Calm down. Deadlift strength. That's where you're wrong. He never had a problem with Kwame Brown. You guys want to insinuate he did. When they made the trade for Powell, he was like, no, those are my guys. Kobe said that, like, man, he hated to lose those guys because they, to get Powell Gasol, a more offensive player, but he wasn't as, if they could have kept Kwame and Powell Gasol, they were going to win a championship. Any which way. They needed that big scorer in the paint who had that touch from the outside, and Powell was that guy. He could pass out, he could do a lot of things, but he wasn't physical. That's why when they went to the finals that year, they didn't win it, because they wanted Andrew Bynum to be that guy, but Bynum had a broken leg or something happened with him, but he couldn't be there. In the rematch, and this is why Perkin and all those guys, they were just bullying Powell Gasol. because he played soft. That's why at the end of that season, when they played against Spain, after they lost the championship that year, and the Redeem team came back around, Kobe ran right through Pau Gasol. I mean, ran straight through him. Poof! Just to let him know, this is it. Kobe has never lost an Olympic competition. Not one game. Michael Jordan never lost an Olympic competition. Not one game. LeBron, shoot, that's all he known for was losing. I mean, he was young, you know, at that time. They were young. But then they went back. They was on Team USA. They lost that time, and they came back again and lost again. No, Kwame was great. I mean, Kwame was going to give you rebounds, and he was going to battle down in the paint. And he was going to sell out to be the best teammate you ever had because he's going to follow instructions. He's going to listen. And said, okay, this is what he wants. Chris Mim wasn't built that way. Chris Mim was a complainer. He didn't like Kobe, the way Kobe talked to him and everything else. You might not like it, but hey, what you gonna do? You Chris Mim, he's Kobe Bryant. If you did what you supposed to do, he wouldn't be yelling at you. Look, back in those days, let me tell you about the NBA. The NBA, your career span is about less than a year. The average rate of an NBA player is 2 years, 2 to 3 years. And I know you guys like, man, that's incredibly, no, that ain't. This guy's been playing all these years. It's 2 to 3 years. Because see, you're not thinking, you're thinking about all the players that's successful and made the team. You got to think about all the players that come in there that you don't even know, that got drafted. And you never really see nothing from them. And they're gone. It's 2, 3 years, brother. So if you can go 10 years in the NBA, you damn right you had a great career. I know players that played in the league that y'all didn't even know about, that wound up having great careers in the NBA when no one thought too much about them. You remember Andre Miller? Okay, Andre Miller. Not Oliver Miller, Andre Miller. Played the point. He did real good coming in backing up Washington, didn't he? He kind of found a home for himself. He won a playoff game against the Bulls, a playoff series, and was very key in that playoff series. That opened the door for Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston started doing the same type of role as Miller. Guys was looking for those long, lanky guys that can control the ball and run the offense and just score and give you a couple points. Give us about 6 or 8 points, but have about 5 assists, 3 rebounds. They needed a guy like that. So Livingston what the hell is this? Was deemed as irreplaceable. Was there a concert tonight or something? What the fuck? I could have stayed on the main highway if I known this was going to go down. It's Sunday night. What the hell going on here? It ain't this much traffic for a Bulls game. Don't tell me there's some Harry Styles type shit going on out here. Right, but we label a guy a bust because he was the first player in the number 1 draft out of high school to go number 1 in the draft right out of high school. And that title don't go to LeBron, it goes to Kwame Brown. Well, you have to look at it. Okay, let's talk about it then. Since we're here. Let's say Agent Zero. Let's say he went instead of Kwame. He went number 1. And he's on that team with Jordan. Jordan comes back. How you think that would have worked out? How you think that would have worked out? Do you think this guy finna tell MJ what he gonna do and how the play should go? MJ had Rip Hamilton on the team. And him and Jordan kept butting heads. He was a fan of him, but they kept butting heads. Because the way MJ played, it wasn't going in the direction of progressing Rip. in his style of play. You got a guy that comes off screens and picks, and Mike ain't trying to look for him. Rip needed a point guard, not to play with a two guard. And Mike is a two guard, who was at that point playing a small forward. Of course Bills win. I bet it on them. We're talking about the Wizards team from 2003 with MJ on it, not the Bulls. So as they progressively go down this path, right? Nobody really seen nobody even seen that it was more of a confidence trip. You got to look at people's attitudes and egos. Mike would break your ego in half, and then the next year was even worse because he brought in Oak. And once he brought in Oak Tree, it was definitely over. Oakley is there to reinforce whatever Mike said. Doug is there to make sure all the plays that Mike draw up goes the way Mike wanted to go. And that's that. Doug wasn't there to coach that team beyond Michael Jordan. He was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's job basically was to show up every night and do what he wanted to damn do. And that was it. And nobody get in the way. All Kwame did was work on his game. That's what you don't know. It ain't about was he working on his game or not working on his game. It ain't like, oh man, he working on his game. We gonna have to play the young boy. They was like, he a rookie. We gonna play him 6-7 minutes a night, and that's it. Maybe that, if that. He's a rookie out of high school. That's how they did rookies back then. When Kevin Garnett came in the league, he wasn't starting. They would bring him in off the bench. Because they was like, look, you from high school, you take about a year or two to develop, get your man body on, get stronger, then you can go from there. So rookies weren't even played like that. It wasn't like it is today when like LeBron and them came in, they just throw them right in the starting lineup. That was unheard of. But that's what I'm saying. You guys don't really understand the game. So you don't understand situations. It's like y'all want Kwame to come in there and tell Michael Jordan, look, this is what I want to do. I'm the #1 pick in the draft. You think you gonna walk in there and tell Michael Jordan you the #1 pick in the draft? What the hell was that gonna do for Kwame Brown? But make his life miserable. Shoot, he trying to take care of mama. See, I keep telling y'all, everybody think like everybody come and get drafted, they thinking, man, all right, man, we can try to work to a championship, maybe one day. But shoot, your first goal is, man, all right, how do I get paid? Where my money come in? All right, I got a house payment for mama. Make sure mama's straight. You gotta make sure your family good first. You don't want to be playing ball thinking about, I got to take care of mama, Big Mom, Toby, and all that stuff. Then you hear Jordan Poole today? Man, it went from being in the NBA, called the bus, out of the NBA to the G League, to now he's signing a $140 million deal. A man on a mission? I know, Nick. Man, it was real stupid what I seen from like some of the comments the media had. Like, they did not want to talk about the Draymond punch incident and all that stuff. He basically said, me and Draymond talked, our focus is, like the NBA season. Like, we playing ball, that's it. Like, we ain't finna be friends. So y'all thinking like, okay, y'all finna be buddies. Like, we don't have to be friends. That is that. Oh, definitely hit the like button. That's free. They ain't gonna charge you for the like button. Yeah, I know y'all like the way I got off on DJ Academics on Patreon. Oh, that felt good too. Get that off. I appreciate that. It's hard to say what's your favorite rap album this year. You don't the movies. I mean, you don't physically hold the albums no more, so it's really hard to say. So you really don't. You listening to so much music randomly. You don't know which month it came out. You don't know what day it came out no more. You just listening to playlists. That's all it is a bunch of playlists with random songs. So it's hard to even say. Oh, I bet you Jenny won't go live today. Y'all should be on you Jenny's channel and hitting comment on the video. Where you at, Jenny? Where you at, Jenny? Ooh, a Richard Mille watch at the Richie Mille store. No, thank you. I don't feel like making Richard Mille any money. I'm cool right here with my watch. When you're rich, they're timepieces. It's a timepiece. Is that watch gonna tell me that this time is different than that time? I'm good. See, that's another thing. What's up, Guru? Most of these people don't know how to stay in their price range. They be moving like fools. I be like, damn, just stay in your price range. They be like, dog, if you can't afford and you already behind on these bills, the hell you buying this for? And create a whole new bill. I got a homeboy like that right now. He just went and bought and spent some going out, just want to kick it. And blew $900. I'm like, dude, you can't. I'm like, if you late on your phone bill and you paid something on it, oh shit. Chicago PD. Them undercovers too. Are you coming in or are you coming off the E-way? I don't even know what you're doing. Police show up, and all go to hell. What was all this traffic about then? I don't even get it. All this for nothing. Vintage Chicago, boy. Back home. Back in the city. Zeno's back in the city. Yeah. Living just enough for the city. Living just enough. Y'all want to talk about the Brady game so bad. Y'all want to talk about the game so bad. Finally, let's talk about the game. All right. Let's talk about the Bucks game. Because y'all want to talk about it so bad. And everybody like, Brady watch, Brady watch, Brady watch. If you watched the game and saw the game, it had nothing to do with Tom Brady. This had everything to do with the offensive line. They were failing to block. Is this a 25-year construction process? I swear to God, they've been fixing on this street for like 7 years. I know the city ain't got no money, but damn. They've been working on this for like 7 years. And this is as far as the progress y'all made? Tom Brady don't play defense. Okay, but you can't keep going out there getting field goals when we're supposed to be getting touchdowns. And plays are getting blown up because the offensive line is just collapsing in. We can't be losing and giving away games like this to Pittsburgh. We're not supposed to lose this game under no circumstances. This is unacceptable as a franchise. Yeah, everybody's they set these brothers up to fail. How many calls wasn't going our way today? Pass interference, holding. They didn't want to throw no flags for the Bucks. We get it. We ain't gonna complain. We the Bucks. Like they made a big noise about that one bad call that saved the game. Saved the game. Atlanta would have got the ball back. They still would have had to score a touchdown. So what do you mean save the game? Yeah, there's something going on. Some concert must be going on, or some soccer. Everybody going that way. That's what was holding up the traffic. And then they talking about roughing the passer. Do you know how many roughing the passers that they could have called in that game in Atlanta that they should have? At least 5 that were roughing the passer on Tom Brady. They didn't show you any of them. They were diving at his legs, everything that could have been called, and they did not throw a flag in Atlanta. But they made a big deal about the one that did get called. They finally called it because they've been doing it all damn game. Then they turn around and fine Tom Brady for throwing a kick in which was not called or flagged in any way during the game. Four, 5 days later, here you come finding the man for a kick. A kick, dog? For real? That's what we doing now? We fining people for kicks? Jesus Christ. So we already know what it is. They're trying to retire Tom Brady themselves, and this is the way they want to do it. But they need Tom Brady altogether. Oh, let's make it look like Tom's old. Tom can't do it no more. He ain't got it in him. He's 40-something years old. He's washed up. They want that to be the narrative. But if you watch the game, you see that's far from the effing truth. No, don't do that. Don't you do it. God damn, this motherfucker. Goofy bastards. I'm sitting here like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Use your damn mirrors. They don't use their mirrors. These people are stupid. Stupid McNupid. Alright, I gotta get ready for this showdown. Make sure my two buddies don't kill each other. This has been a fun live, man. Yeah, we went way longer than I thought we were gonna go. We almost went 2 hours. So you know I need something. My voice is out of there.